Hello friends, and welcome to this video in Authentic English. In this video I'm going to give you some tips that will help you in your exam tomorrow. So actually I've been trying to record this video since morning, but there have been some technical issues. My laptop was not working, so I'm so sorry that it's so late that I've been able to upload this video. I'm extremely sorry about that. So first of all, let me talk about the exam tomorrow. All the best for it. You are going to do great. Just believe in what you've read. The most important thing for success is just believing in yourself. And if you do not believe in yourself at this moment, like many people do not, just fake it. Fake that you believe in yourself. In some way it's going to help you in your examination. So I've prepared 10 or 11 slides for you, in which I'll talk about what you can do tomorrow to get better marks. So first of all, the thing is that we do not want you to write a summary. Read the first slide, which tells about what would be cool if the examiners. Read that on your own. It just basically says that you have to, side with the critics, side with what you've read. You have to try to explain. Do not just focus on giving your own opinions. Just giving your own opinions sometimes does not get you the marks that you want. And marks can be important for many people, although let me tell you that these marks are not going to be useful to any of you in any part of your life later. Even if you think that you're going to get admission in Delhi University, or you want a dream college or something like that, let me tell you that it's all something more of a show off than a reality. When you just are there, you'll realize that how stupid all of this stuff is, and all these marks are extremely vain. But still, we need to do everything beautifully. We need to do everything greatly. So the first thing that I have to say is, do not write a summary. Answer the question. Whatever question is, answer that. We do not need you to write a summary. A summary is something extremely useless. Summaries are everywhere. Nobody wants a summary. Answer the question. Now, how do you think you'll answer the question? How do you think you'll get enough points? So the thing is that you have to focus on the part that is asked in the question. Talk about its significance in the play. Like, for example, if you're asked about the gulling of Beatrice and Benedict, you have to talk about how the gulling of Beatrice and Benedict plays an important part in the play. That thing brings the two of them together. What is the purpose of the gulling? Why is it done? Somewhere you can think that it's because people want them to get married. Why do people get married? Because maybe they do not want them to remain, virgins forever, for the continuity of generation. So you have to end for things like these. Find a critical quote from the internet and try to incorporate it in your answer. Explain the quote and why you include it in your answer. For all the pieces of literature, all the stories, poems, and the play that you have, you can get some critical quotes, some quotes from famous critiques on them on the internet. Try to find them, include them in your answers. Okay, include them in your answers, and make sure that you explain them again. Why do you think that the critics said a particular thing about this? I've given a quote later on one of the poems, and I'll want you to explain that quote if you use it in your question tomorrow, if you can use it. Give a comment on the theme if the answer wants you to do that. I will explain how this is done. Now, the most important thing that you have to understand is that you need to have an understanding of the themes of the piece of literature in order to fully understand it. That is what is checked. You need to have an idea of the theme that is depicted. Okay, now I'll talk about this. Like, first of all, here's a piece. A man named Rahul beats his wife when he comes from office. The wife sobs in the kitchen, and then everything becomes all right. The incident is repeated a week later too. So this is a piece of just a paragraph that is given to you. Now you have to infer the themes from this. The theme will not be that Rahul is a bad person. That is not a theme. The theme is of domestic violence, of patriarchy. Okay, you have to think like these. You have to think about the society today. You have to think about what is happening. The man is more powerful than the woman. The man is beating the woman. Okay, it's an instance of domestic violence. It's an instance of patriarchy. The patriarchy says that the society is patriarchal. That means that the pater familiar is that the males in the family are the greatest and the women are inferior to men. It's a simple belief. So that is what's happening, that the women are conveyed to be weak. So you have to talk about these themes as such to get you the marks that you need. Okay, these are going to get you good marks. If you do not talk about them, then your answer will be incomplete. From the point of view of boards, they are very lenient in marking. So if you can add all this, you're definitely going to get a very high score. So now let's talk specifically about Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night, which is a poem that is going to be there in your course tomorrow. The theme of the poem is fighting back, being strong, unassailability, and not fearing even death. Okay, so this poem, Do Not Go Gentle Into the Good Night, don't just talks about basically, resisting death. That is one of the major themes, that you have to resist death. You don't just have to pass away like that. You're here for a purpose. While talking about that, you can also talk about that it talks about, fighting back in every situation that you are in. We have to survive breakups. We have to do a lot of stuff. Most of the times we are sad because of the world that we are living in, but it tells about you do not have to give in. You have to keep fighting. This is what we are born for. Our life is a battle. So, and for these themes, talk about the themes instead of just giving a general summary of the poem that that the soldiers were that his father was dying and he's addressing this poem. He talks about good men, that man. That is not needed. What is needed is you to explain whatever the question is. Try to answer that question. You have to, take the viewpoint of the question, and the viewpoint of your answer needs to match with the viewpoint of the question. Okay, they want to know what you inferred from the poem and not its summary. Okay, they need to understand. Now, talking about critical quotes, I have here included a critical quote for you. Pulitzer Prize winning Irish poet and New Yorker poetry editor Paul Muldoon writes, "It's no accident, surely, that Dylan Thomas' Do Not Go Gentle Into the Good Night is a poem which is read at 2 out of 3 funerals." Dylan Thomas's poems allow us to believe that we may be transported, and that belief is itself transporting. So I found this quote on the internet. If you include this quote in your answer, it's going to be great. But I also want you to explain this quote. Why have you included it? Now, this quote says something. It is a poem which is read at 2 out of every 3 funerals. Why do you think this poem is read out at funerals? Because it tells you that death is something that cannot win over you. That death is also actually not able to win over you. Death. So you have to talk about themes like this. You can have your own interpretations for why this poem. Why do you think that this poem is read out at funerals? So explain that. Whatever you think, do not write extremely rubbish but explanations, but you have sense, you have an understanding of the poem. Think about why this poem could be read out at funerals. If you use this quote or whatever quote you're using, try to explain that quote. Like, why does the critic say that? Okay. Try finding a quote for other poems and stories on the internet as well, so you know what the probable stories and poems are. You can find one quote. I do not want you to fill your entire answer with quotes. That is the most disgusting form of answer ever, where you just keep quoting critics. That is something that is not at all needed. Just find a single quote, explain it. It just enhances your answer. Okay, that is something that I won't mind. Like, if I'm checking a paper and if a person does not include any code, that's fine with me, but most of the examiners like it, so it can get you extra marks. Try finding a quote for other poems and stories on the internet as well. Identify the themes clearly. Again, I'm talking about the term themes. You have to identify the themes clearly. I'll talk about themes later on as well. So identify the themes clearly. Themes for dulce et decorum est include condemnation of war, etc. So the major theme for this poem, called Dulce et Decorum Est Pro Patria Mori, this Dulce et Decorum Est, includes condemnation of war. So it talks about how war is bad. The soldiers are taught that they have to fight, that they have to sacrifice their lives for the country, but they do not realize that how miserable their life can get. It provides clear imagery of the war scenes to let us know how gruesome war is. Read the Wikipedia article on this poem. So it's very important for you to read the Wikipedia article on this poem. You have the time, you have ample time still. You can read the Wikipedia article on this poem. It is going to give you a lot of more information about the themes and other things that are there in the play. Now let's talk about Much Ado. Now I'm not talking about the short questions that are asked from Much Ado. They are extremely simple. They just ask you who was this, where was the scene taking place, what is the meaning of these words. So that is something that you can do. That is something that's not very difficult. When you have to write the long answers, that is when the knowledge of that is when you require a great knowledge about the themes that are there. The themes that are a major component of the play. So one of the themes in the play is marriage and love. Okay, I've not written love there, maybe it's in some other slide. So one of the themes in the play is marriage and love. Claudia and Hero get married complicatedly. Okay, So Claudio and Hero get married complicatedly. Their marriage is initially fine. Okay, so you can see it like this. Claudio and Hero love each other, okay? Their marriage is initially thought that it's going to be a nice affair. It's going to get carried out without any obstacles. But eventually there's a big obstacle in their marriage. While on the other hand, this Beatrice and Benedict, they hate each other at first, okay? So if you are asked a question like how both of them are contrast with each other, you can talk about this. Like Claudio and Hero, initially it's thought that their marriage is going to be something. Initially their marriage is thought that it's going to be fine, but later on what happens? Everybody knows that there's a complicated plot hatched by Mr. Don John, and then it all gets complicated. So it represents a contrast with the love affair of Beatrice and Benedict. They hate each other at first, but eventually they fall in such great love that their love is so strong in comparison with the love of Claudio and Hero. Claudio and Hero's love is so weak. Claudio doubts on Hero, and Claudio even asks if Hero has a brother. So their love, Claudio basically loves Hero for the purpose that she's just a woman and maybe you could not find anyone else. So the marriage is an essential part of the play, and also why Benedict and Beatrice get tricked into marriage by their friends. It's because that marriage is essential for the continuity of family. Maybe they want them to settle. They do not want them to remain bachelors. So one of the themes is marriage. Most of the drama in the play is centered around the idea of love and marriage. Why does the play move forward? Because of the themes of love and marriage, because they have to get actually married and things like that. Marriage of Claudio and Hero is kind of stopped, kind of obstructed by the evil plots of Mr. Don John, while Beatrice and Benedict also are tricked into marriage. So marriage is something extremely important. Beatrice and Benedict, why? Oh yeah, one more question. Why do you think that Beatrice and Benedict always say that they do not want to get married? It may be because they believe that nobody loves them. It may be. Some of the critics say that. Mistaken identities and deception is also a theme in the play. So okay, mistaken identities play such a great role. And mistaken identities, just not physical identities of the people, also the mental identity, like what's going on in the person's mind. People can get deceived, tricked. Don Pedro believes Don John will be loyal to him and hence forgives him. And then you see what he does. Don Pedro is not able to realize what kind of a man Don John is. He thinks that he's a changed man now after the war. But that is something that does not happen. What happens is actually the reverse. Margaret is misidentified as Hero, which causes a lot of problems. Benedict and Beatrice are tricked into love. They do not understand each other truly until they fall in love. Okay, Benedict and Beatrice are also tricked into love. Okay, they do not actually know that it all was a lie, it all was a game hatched separately by the men and women. We get to know that it's hard to know how someone is. You never know what cooks up in others' mind. So this is another theme in the play. Deception is another major theme in the play. We say how cleverly Don John deceives everyone and how Claudio and other people fall prey to it. Now Don John, how cleverly he deceives everyone. So deception can lie just beside you and you'll never know that. So it tells you that all that glitters is not gold thing. That a person, do not judge a book by its cover. That whatever person seems from the outside, it may definitely be something opposite on the inside. So that is one of the major themes in this play, that deception. Just like marriage, the theme is love too. So love and marriage go side by side. At times, Claudio's love for Hera may seem superficial, while the love of Benedict and Beatrice seems truer comparatively. When writing an answer, like for example, commenting on the culling of Beatrice and Benedict, make sure you comment upon the theme of deception. So okay, when you have to write an answer relating to a particular incident in the play, you have to talk about number one, the significance of that incident, like the culling of Beatrice and Benedict brings the two together. And then you have to identify the themes that are portrayed. The themes that are portrayed are deception. People are deceived. And who deceives them? The people who trust, the people they trust. So you can make your answer like this. We are often deceived by the people we trust. We are definitely not going to trust a stranger. Had the plot of this trickery been hatched by some other people that this Beatrice and Benedict did not even know, they would not definitely have believed that Benedict would not have believed that Beatrice loves him, and Beatrice would not have believed that Benedict loves him. So the thing is that you have to talk about these things, that people are mostly tricked by the people they trust. So that is something that is evident, something that is, clear by their culling. Now, there is something that I want you to do that's very important. Go to wikipedia.com, search for Much Ado About Nothing. When you search for Much Ado About Nothing, there's an article called Themes and Motives in Much Ado About Nothing. You have ample time, read it. Read all the themes and motives that are there in Wikipedia in the article of Much Ado About Nothing. And then the last tip that I'm giving you is, while answering any question, talk about also the significance of the concerned part of the play, story, or act. Okay, you have to talk about the significance as well, like what part does it play. So the thing is, for writing good answers, make a critical quote, talk about the significance, definitely talk about the significance in the present world. You have to give your own opinions, okay, in the play. Just do not make it very opinionated. Do not use the word I in the answer. It's not required. Please do not use the word I. Examiners don't like it. Okay, it's not a problem with me, but I'm also not an examiner. Do not use the word I. Don't make it sound opinionated. Give your opinions, but use the passive voice, stuff like that. And talk about the significance. Talk about the theme that is portrayed by that incident. Okay, and that is how you're going to get a good answer. And more importantly, try to use correct grammar. Read your answers. If you have problem writing the answer in the present tense, which is preferable, write your answer entirely in the past tense, so that you do not make many mistakes. Answers are better if written in the present tense, but still, if you cannot write properly in the present tense, if you think that you make a lot of mistakes while writing in the present, use the past tense. And all the best for tomorrow, guys. I know that you're going to do well. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye bye, take care.